Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine having like a direct line to ancient wisdom, distilled into insights that really resonate with modern life.
Absolutely.
That's precisely what we're about to dive into. Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through the sources, pull out those essential nuggets of knowledge to help you feel genuinely well-informed, fast.
And our mission today, well, it's to explore a really profound and honestly surprisingly practical classical Islamic treatise. It's titled Ad-Din an-Nasihah.
Which translates to...
It beautifully translates to Religion is Sincerity, or maybe Religion is Counsel.
Right. And this isn't just some ancient text-gathering dust, is it?
No, not at all. It was meticulously compiled and verified, quite recently, actually, 2014,
Oh, okay.
by Dr. Muhammad al-Mustafa Azzam and Yassir M. And Yassir M. is the grandson of the original Sheikh.
The grandson. Okay. So our deep dive today, we're going to uncover these key insights, right, into Islamic spirituality, ethics, the Sufi path.
Exactly. And see how this, ancient wisdom offers a kind of direct pathway to profound personal growth and maybe deeper understanding in our world today.
Okay. So let's start at the heart of it. There's this really powerful statement from the Prophet Muhammad.
Yes. Religion is sincerity.
He repeated it 3 times.
3 times. Yeah, really emphasizing its importance.
And when they asked him to whom, his answer laid out this, well, comprehensive approach to life.
It did, he said.
Okay.
To Allah, His book, His messenger, to the leaders of the Muslims and their general public. Covers everything, really.
It really does.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how the text unpacks this idea of Nasihah, sincerity, counsel. It's not just a virtue, it's presented as a strong adherence to the very bonds of religion itself.
So like the glue holding it together.
In a way, yes. It's positioned as the ultimate pillar. It comes after the foundations of Islam, which is submission, and Iman, faith.
Right.
Leading ultimately to Ihsan.
Ihsan, which means excellence.
Or perfection.
Yeah.
Striving for that higher state.
Okay, so pulling that together, what does this mean for us, practically? It sounds like true faith isn't just about, what we believe in our heads.
Not at all. It's about how we live. With profound sincerity, good intention, woven into every single aspect of life.
From our relationship with God.
Right, to how we interact with, well, everyone around us.
Okay.
And if we connect this to the sort of bigger picture, the treatise clearly explains how Sufism, this rich spiritual tradition within Islam, is deeply rooted in these very principles. It puts huge emphasis on brotherhood, community, and maybe most importantly, cultivating noble character.
Right, noble character. And this is where it gets really practical, I think. The text gives such vivid insights into what that actually looks like.
It does.
It talks about amiability just being someone people can genuinely get along with. And then this idea, it's really profound.
Which one?
That the best thing a servant of Allah has worshipped him with is mending broken hearts.
Ah, yes. That's powerful.
It really shifts your focus, doesn't it? It's not about these grand, elaborate rituals necessarily.
Exactly. It's about the very real, sometimes difficult, act of healing emotional wounds.
Yeah.
Bridging divides between people.
But how do we actually do that?
Well, the text gives guidance. It urges universal kindness, like the dearest of deeds to Allah is showing affection to people.
Okay.
And doing good to every righteous and wicked person.
Every person.
Yes. And then it takes it even further, really challenging our natural impulses. It says, be good to those who do you wrong.
Ooh, that's tough.
It is. It means actively choosing understanding, offering forgiveness even when it feels impossible. It means, really listening to validate someone's pain instead of just dismissing it.
It goes even deeper, doesn't it, into the ethics within this idea, brother. It paints this ideal Sufi relationship, where if you get angered, you might say, I am you.
Signifying that complete empathy, that unity. Yes.
It's about treating wrong with good. And it lists this really actionable advice, things we can try in our daily lives. Forgive those who wrong you.
Connect with those who've cut you off.
And give to those who withhold from you. I mean, that's a radical level of generosity and forgiveness.
It truly is. And another really striking detail is the constant, unwavering emphasis on sincerity in all our dealings.
Right. There's that Sufi saying,
when you sit with Sufis, sit with them with sincerity, for they are spies of hearts.
Spies of hearts. Wow. It suggests they can perceive insincerity.
It does. And related to that, the idea that your brother is your mirror, meaning what you conceal inside, your real intentions, your inner state, eventually it'll show on your face or in your words. You can't hide it forever.
So sincerity isn't just an outward act. It has to be internal alignment.
Precisely, an internal truthfulness.
And then there's that powerful reminder about true humility, selflessness. The Sufi being described as like the earth.
Yes, upon which all ugly things are cast, but from which only good emerges.
That's beautiful. It involves letting go, doesn't it? Letting go of the love for leadership or fame.
Or knowledge for its own sake, or even wealth. Always prioritizing others, putting others first.
And the text even includes a specific prayer for forgiveness.
It does, underscoring that constant need for honest self-reflection, for taking accountability for our own shortcomings.
Okay, so this foundation of sincerity and character, how does it connect to, well, living life moment by moment?
That builds directly on the concept of Ihsan, that striving for excellence we mentioned.
Right.
The treatise stresses the critical importance of guarding one's breaths and moments.
Right.
Every single moment, every breath, it says, has a right to be fulfilled.
A right to be fulfilled, meaning?
Meaning being present, being intentional with every part of your day, not letting time just slip away unnoticed or unused.
And this leads to that powerful analogy about time.
Yes. Time is a sword. If you don't cut it with truth, it will cut you with falsehood.
In our world today, which is so full of distractions, cutting time with truth, what does that look like?
I think it means intentionally dedicating moments to what genuinely matters. Your values, your relationships, your spiritual growth.
Instead of just scrolling or letting trends dictate your attention.
Exactly. It's about reclaiming your focus in a really profound way. Dismissing that constant preoccupation with the past or anxiety about the future and just being here.
Being present.
Yes. And for the Sufi, that present moment isn't empty. It's meant to be filled.
Filled with?
With dhikr, which is remembrance of God. With shukr, gratitude. And tafakkur, contemplation.
And Dhikr, it's not just saying words, right?
No, it's described as a total state of being. A state that can open you up to profound insights. Insights into the unseen, perhaps. The promise is clear. Remember me, I will remember you.
But like any path, there are obstacles. The text is realistic about that.
Very much so. It highlights gafla, forgetfulness, heedlessness, being distracted.
And calls it a major sin.
For those specifically seeking remembrance, yes, because it pulls you away from that goal. It underscores the constant need for taba.
Taba.
Yes, turning back. Constantly turning back towards that state of presence and remembrance.
And then there's that beautiful, really reassuring quote you mentioned from Abu Abbas al-Mursi.
Ah, yes. He said, if the light of a disobedient believer were revealed, it would fill what is between heaven and earth.
Wow. Even a disobedient believer.
Even then. And then he asks, so what about an obedient believer?
It really makes you pause, doesn't it? It makes you think about the immense, often hidden potential for light and good inside every single person, regardless of their outward actions.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Potential for transformation is always there.
So after establishing sincerity, character, and presence, where does the treatise go next?
It delves into deeper spiritual experiences. Concepts like mushahada.
Mushahada, observation.
Observation or witnessing. It's not just intellectual understanding. It's more like a state, an inner experience.
Or someone might feel.
They might experience something like, I have not seen anything except I saw Allah in it. Or a deep conviction that everything indicates that He is one.
A direct experiential awareness of the divine in everything.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
And one outcome of this intense remembrance and observation is something called futuwa.
Yes, futuwa. It's often translated as chivalry or maybe magnanimity, spiritual nobility.
So it's about being constantly in service to others.
In service, yes, but embodying a true spiritual generosity. It's a quality of character that flows from that inner state.
Okay, and the text discusses love, doesn't it, in a very specific way?
It does, and it makes a really illuminating distinction between two types of love.
Okay, what are they?
First, there's what it calls attribute-based love. This is conditional. It depends on receiving things.
Like, I love you because you're good to me.
Exactly. The text uses a Quranic verse about someone worshiping on an edge. They're reassured if good things happen, but if a trial comes,
They turn away.
they turn away. It's essentially self-centered desire, a kind of transactional affection. It's not really true, deep love in this context.
Okay, so that's one type. What's the other?
The other is essence-based love, and this is unconditional. It's described as a pure divine gift.
He loves them and they love him. That verse.
Precisely. This love is ancient, it's indivisible, eternal. It's the kind of love that empowers someone to always treat well those who wrong them,
Connect with those who cut them off.
and give to those who withhold. It transcends conditions because it's rooted in the divine essence itself, not in what you get back. The text even includes some beautiful poetry by Omar ibn al-Farid describing this transformative love.
That distinction is incredibly powerful, and it seems to set up another key point the text makes about different spiritual paths.
It does. It talks about two main approaches, you could say.
Okay.
First, there's itiba, divine attraction. This is where Allah chooses whom he wills. It's a path associated more with direct divine gifts, immediate insights, sudden realities.
Or it's like flying spiritually, a quick ascent.
That's the analogy sometimes used, yes. More instantaneous.
And the other path
is inaba, earned effort. This path is achieved through consistent striving, hard work, meticulously following the outward religious law, performing good deeds.
So more like walking steadily, step by step.
Exactly, walking steadily on the spiritual journey.
But both paths lead to the same destination.
That's what the text makes clear. They both ultimately lead to God, just through different means or perhaps different tempos.
And the text then defines the wali, the saint.
Yes, as one whose affairs Allah takes care of. A living proof, you might say, of Allah's presence on earth. Someone who consistently follows the Prophet's sunnah, his way.
And it mentions different types of spiritual guides or sheikhs.
It does. It describes sheikhs of guidance, those who show the path, sheikhs of spiritual resolve, who strengthen the seeker's will, sheikhs of states, who help navigate inner experiences, and sheikhs of training, who oversee the practical discipline.
So different guides offer different kinds of support.
Depending on the seeker's needs and the stage of their journey, yes.
And then there are these really practical aspects of training like khalwa, seclusion.
Right. Often a period of, say, 21 to 40 days. Intense spiritual focus, self-examination, remembrance.
And that's followed by jalwa, public appearance.
Yes. And the principle is quite direct. No khalwa, no jalwa. Meaning you can't truly serve others effectively or manifest that refined spiritual character in the world until you've done that deep inner work, that purification and seclusion. The inner prepares you for the outer.
That makes sense. You have to fill your own cup first.
In essence, yes. And the text also explains this fascinating progression in spiritual practice.
Okay.
It starts with mujahada. That's the struggle, the effort, mainly in the physical world, controlling the lower self, the impulses.
Okay, the initial effort.
Then it can evolve into makabara. This is a deeper endurance, often described as being in the angelic world, refining one's subtle inner being, dealing with more subtle challenges. For some, it culminates in mushahada, that state of observation or witnessing we talked about, experiencing divine realities more directly.
And these intense practices can lead to states like waj, ecstasy.
Yes, states of spiritual ecstasy or finding. And ultimately, potentially, wujud.
Which is
described by the great Sufi master Junaid as finding complete annihilation of the self.
Annihilate?
Not physical death, but the annihilation of the ego, the false self, and absence in the divine. It's like the drop merging into the ocean, losing its sense of separateness, becoming completely immersed in the divine presence.
That's incredibly profound.
It is. Deep mystical states.
But the text doesn't just leave us there in those high states, does it? It comes back to practical advice.
Absolutely. It circles back, reminding us to speak to people according to their understanding.
So tailor the message.
Yes. This deep spiritual knowledge, it's meant to be stored in hearts, meant to be lived, not just kept in books or discussed in abstract theories. It has to translate into how we actually engage with the world and with others.
Right. And the treatise actually ends with a pretty critical warning, doesn't it?
It does. A warning against confusing statements, against extremism. It firmly reinforces the Prophet's teaching. I have left you upon a clear path.
Whose night is like its day. No one deviates from it after me except one who is doomed. Clarity and sticking to the core path.
Exactly. And it explicitly warns against excessive praise for spiritual figures.
Echoing the Prophet's own words.
Do not praise me excessively as the Christians praised Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus, son of Mary. It brings us back to that core principle. The most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you.
Character and conduct above all else.
Piety, righteousness, that's the measure.
And this leads into some really important clarifications, especially about Sufi sayings that might be misunderstood.
Yes, it tackles a few common ones head-on. For instance, the idea of visitation, ziyara, to spiritual masters.
Some people forbid that.
Some wrongly do, yes.
Yeah.
But the text clarifies it as a vital way to renew spiritual bonds, to draw inspiration. It even cites historical examples of sheikhs encouraging disciples to travel, to visit others, to spread knowledge.
So it's seen as beneficial.
Definitely. The treatise says quite strongly, do not deny visitation absolutely except one who is heedless of Allah and the path. It's about honoring those spiritual connections.
Okay. What's another example? That famous saying from Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani.
Yes. These 2 feet of mine are on the neck of every saint of Allah.
Which sounds pretty assertive, maybe even arrogant if taken literally.
Exactly. But it's not meant literally at all. The Arabic word used, qadam, doesn't just mean foot. It also means rank or precedence, spiritual station.
Ah, okay, so it's symbolic.
Highly symbolic. It signifies his profound spiritual stature. It means he carries the banners of both Sharia, the outward law, and Hakika, the inner reality. He embodies and protects both aspects of the divine knowledge.
So it's about his role and rank, not physical dominance.
Precisely. And the text reminds us, this religion will be carried by the just ones of every generation, and whoever is given wisdom has been given much good. It's about the transmission of that balanced wisdom.
Okay, that makes more sense. What about the saying by Abu Yazid al-Bistami, we plunged into seas where the prophets stopped at their shores?
Yes, another one that sounds potentially problematic at first glance, like claiming superiority over prophets.
Right.
But again, the text offers a nuanced clarification. It's not about superiority, it's about the intensity of certain spiritual states, these seas of divine reality.
Okay.
A Sufi, due to their human weakness perhaps, might become completely overwhelmed, drowned in that state, whereas the prophets, with their divine strength and infallibility, navigated those same seas with utmost calmness, dignity, and control. They passed through without being overwhelmed.
So it's about the experience of the state, not the level reached.
Exactly. Different manifestations based on capacity and divine protection.
That's a really subtle but important distinction.
It is. And there's a beautiful exchange that illustrates this kind of nuance between Dulin al-Mizri and Abu Yazid al-Bistami.
Yeah. What did they say?
Well, Dulin sent a message saying something like, I drank a cup of love and became absent from the 2 worlds. Indicating a deep state of absorption.
Okay, sounds pretty profound.
It is. But Abu Yazid's reply pushes the boundaries even further. He said basically, tell your Sheikh Dulnen that Abu Yazid drank the oceans of the cosmos, and he is still taking more from their depths.
Wow. Was that like a competition, one-upmanship?
It might sound like it, but the understanding is that it's not rivalry. It's highlighting different capacities, different depths of experience within the same ocean of divine love and knowledge. Both are valid, both are deep, but the scale might differ. It's a dialogue of profound spiritual insight.
A dialogue of insight, not ego. Okay.
Exactly.
And there's one more anecdote you mentioned about Abu Sud and Sheikh Abdul Qadir.
Yes, a striking one.
Yeah.
Abu Sud apparently claimed he hadn't seen Sheikh Abdul Qadir in the divine presence for some 30 years.
Implying Sheikh Abdul Qadir wasn't there.
Perhaps. But Sheikh Abdul Qadir's reply was incredibly pointed. One who sits at the door of the house does not see who is inside.
Ooh.
Mic drop. Pretty much. It's a powerful reminder that our perception of reality, especially spiritual reality, is entirely dependent on our own level. Our proximity, our inner state, our understanding.
What we see is limited by where we stand.
Precisely. You can't judge the inside from the doorstep.
So after all these clarifications, these deep dives into states and paths, what's the ultimate takeaway from Ad-Din and Nasihah?
Ultimately, the treatise brings it back to 3 core principles for achieving spiritual safety and profound understanding.
Okay, what are they?
First, good assumption, thinking well of others, of God, of situations, seeing the best possibility.
Okay.
Second, giving up one's own will, submitting to a higher purpose, letting go of ego-driven desires.
Submission, surrender.
Yes. And third, embracing adherence to the divine law, living consciously within ethical and spiritual guidelines, following the path.
Good assumption, giving up one's will and adherence to the law.
Those 3 are presented as the keys.
It feels like a really powerful invitation, doesn't it? To look inward, to cultivate a much deeper, more sincere approach to, well, everything.
It really is.
There's that line, if you believed in a stone, you would benefit from it.
Yes. So imagine the profound benefit, the transformation, when you apply that level of sincerity, that depth of good intention, to your own actions, your relationships.
Especially with, as the text says, the people of Allah, but also just everyone around you.
Exactly. The potential benefit is immense.
And this knowledge, it really isn't just historical trivia, is it?
Not at all. It offers a timeless and I think incredibly practical framework for navigating our often very complex world today. It invites a more meaningful, more impactful way of living.
So for you, our listener, maybe here's a thought to mull over as we wrap up. How could you consciously apply that principle of mending broken hearts this week? Maybe in a small way, in an everyday interaction, perhaps even with someone you find difficult.
Or how might truly internalizing that idea of time as a sword change how you choose to spend your moments, even just today or tomorrow?
Yeah. How might a deeper understanding of sincerity, of Nasihah, transform your perspective on the challenges you're facing or the relationships in your own life? Something to think about.
Definitely.
Until next time, keep diving deep.